Hi, everybody. Welcome to the YEP information session, so the Youth Employment Program. My name is Jolienne Laforce, and I'm the Employment and Education and Training Coordinator for MFS Europe. So this session is going to be about the program and what it entails. And we're going to start a little bit by discussing the aim of the program. So it's quite a It's been around for a few years, and the program basically is an alternative for employment for teenagers in Europe who might not have the opportunity to work while their parents are posted out can. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to gain some knowledge and valuable skills on job applications and the process of finding a job with my help. We're trying to build those skills for you guys to enter the workforce. So we can talk about eligibility for a little bit here. In order to apply for the YEP program, an applicant has to be a dependent of a Canadian Armed Forces member or a Canadian Forces sponsored support personnel that's stationed in Europe. Unfortunately, you cannot be a diplomatic dependent, and you cannot have dual citizenship in the country of employment. So for example, if you are living in Belgium and are looking for employment through YEP in Belgium, you cannot have Belgium citizenship. The applicant can also not have dual citizenship in a non-NATO country. And finally, the applicant is a dependent in the view of the CAF. So if you're not too sure what that means, you can always talk to your orderly room. They'll be able to answer any questions regarding that. You have to be between the ages of 15 and 21 years old. 16 is actually the cutoff age, but if you're 15 while we're doing the training, that's all right, as long as you turn 16 before you start work. So we've had applicants who have turned 16 years old in May, June, even July, and have been able to work for the duration of their placement. So if you're a 15-year-old and you're turning 16 in the spring, I would highly suggest you apply. You have to be currently enrolled in full-time studies for the year 2021 and 2022, as well as returning for fall of 2022. So basically you'd be on summer break and returning for the fall semester of 2022. You can be enrolled in full-time studies in Canada, abroad, or distance learning. So again, if you're not sure if you are eligible to apply, just reread these criteria. It'll all be outlined on the registration form, and maybe check in with your local orderly room. So here we're going to talk a little bit about paperwork and security clearance info. And we know that's not everybody's favorite thing, but it's very important for you guys to properly fill out this paperwork so that our HR department can get your file ready in a timely manner. Excuse me. The applicant is responsible for making sure that the paperwork is submitted correctly and in a timely manner. So we have to be able to read it as well. You have to make sure that you have all the documents needed in order to participate in the program. Once we've registered you, I'll be sending out a list of everything that we need, but your basic examples are social insurance number, birth certificate. And it might seem, this paperwork and the security clearance process can seem a little daunting for some, but we do encourage you guys to keep at it, and your parents are encouraged to help to a certain degree. And this kind of brings me to my next point here. Your role as a parent should be to support and encourage the child through the process, the application process, and the training, but also take a step back and allow them a chance to do it by themselves. They have to have a willingness to learn and be able to set their goals and organize themselves to make this process work. So it's important for the child to navigate this process with little to no parental intervention. Overview of YEP. So we're going to take a look at what exactly the youth employment program encompasses. And there's 4 phases. So the first phase is the training phase, which is mandatory training and virtual sessions for all of the applicants. So myself, the employment coordinator, will be taking care of that. to get that information out to you and set deadlines for you guys. And yourself, obviously, the applicants are responsible for submitting your paperwork, your assignments in a timely manner. The second phase is the application. So once we've finished our training, we'll be posting jobs that are available throughout Europe, and you'll be able to apply for any positions that you're interested in. It's going to involve an application process and a screening process. We'll be doing interviews and placing you guys where we see fit. So again, that's where my role as the employment and education coordinator, I fall. My role is to look at each candidate and try to find the right fit for the job. Finally, the third phase is the work experience. So we have meaningful work experiences for you guys. And it's obviously paid summer employment. So you'll be working for a period of up to between 2 and 3 months. It can be part-time, it can be full-time, and depending on what your employer is looking for, it might be 6 weeks, it could be 8 weeks. So it really depends on where you're applying. And finally, the fourth and final stage is the evaluation. And that is an overview of how you as an applicant did as an employee. Your supervisors are constantly monitoring you guys, and we'll talk about lessons learned, and there'll be an evaluation for the program. And this is a little timeline here of the youth employment program, exactly how you guys are, what to expect from the program. So in November, we obviously have the information session for you guys to get a little bit more up to speed about the youth employment prep program. And the deadline to apply, so the registration's opened. You'll be able to find that on the CAF Connection page. And the deadline to apply will be end of November. Once we've closed registration, we'll jump right into our mandatory training and our virtual sessions that's going to help us with prep you guys for the job application process. So that is going to run from November to approximately March. Mid-March, we're going to have our employers are going to post their jobs. We're going to have all the jobs posted, and you guys can have a look at where you see yourself as a good fit, what you'd be interested in applying for. And we're looking at end of April for applications to be submitted. So if you guys are interested in a few positions, you can submit your resumes, your cover letters, and apply for the position. And we'll then start doing interviews and onboarding for you guys. Which brings us to May, which typically is when we would start depending on when you're done with school. So if you're still in high school, it might be June. If you're in university, you might start in May. But from May to August, that's going to be your timeline for work. So you'll be getting that work experience in. And August, we're celebrating the end of summer as well as the end of your employment. And finally, September is going to be the evaluation phase. So phase 1, training. This is going to depend on what year you're going to be in. There'll be different training for different years. It tends to follow the same profile, but it's going to be a little bit different for first years than it is for fourth years. So for example, a first year student we might not go as in depth with resume building and cover letter writing. We'll be doing interview prep and mock interviews, and to prepare you for those interviews in April-May timeframe. To keep in mind is that all your assignments must be submitted in a timely manner to ensure your continuation in the program. So essentially, it's your job as the applicant and as a student to keep on top of your assignments and your deadlines. I can't be always poking you to try to get your assignments filled in and done in a timely manner. And if it happens more than once, unfortunately, we can't really guarantee your continuation in the program. Phase 2, skills application. So that's in April. Once we've done all of our training, we go into the real world of job application. So you'll have positions listed, and you can yourself, the applicant, have a look at what you're interested in. If you're in Gallenkirchen, there'll be a few positions available, shape, there'll be some remote locations, et cetera, et cetera. So you can have a look at all the positions and see what works for you and apply for the ones that you see fit. And we'll be starting that process after. And I have to say, there's not a guarantee of employment. However, we do try to match everybody with a job and try to ensure that we have as many employers as we have students. Phase 3 is your work experience. So that'll be the May to August timeframe. And we're obviously looking at paid employment here for you guys. And it's a summer placement of about 8 weeks, depending on where you're working. It can be part-time or full-time. And your working hours will vary, as well as vacation time. So that will always depend on your employer. And finally, we've got phase 4, which is August to September. We're looking at evaluation. So the performance evaluation is how you as a student did in your placement. Your employer will provide us with continuous feedback. There's active supervision. And of course, it's a two-way evaluation. So they'll be evaluating you just as you'll be evaluating them. The program evaluation is the evaluation of the program itself, so the Youth Employment Preparation Program. And it's your chance to shape the program for the future, for next year, and to tell us give us your feedback on how it went. And again, it's a two-way evaluation. So that concludes the brief on the Youth Employment Preparation Program. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and you can find my email here. If you have any questions regarding the program or where to find the application and the registration forms, I hope you had a great I hope you have a great time applying, and I hope to see you guys soon.